Hello and welcome to LifeConfident.com's live stream. Today I want to talk to you about surgery. Should you do it? Shouldn't you do it to correct something that you feel is wrong with you? Maybe it's a mark on your skin that you want to have removed. Maybe it's your breast that you want enlarging or reducing. Maybe it's your ears that stick out. Maybe it's your nose, maybe it's your eyes. Whatever it is, I've seen the question come up a lot over the years. People ask it in forums. Maybe they're just looking for other people's experiences, which is what I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to share with you my own experience. But people ask it, should I get surgery? Because it's quite a drastic decision to take, and an expensive one too. So it's quite a life-changing decision. So, should you have surgery to change something about yourself that is draining your confidence? And my answer to it, and some people will disagree, some people will agree. It's one of those arguments that seems to be polarised. Some people say, no, don't do it. You look fine the way you are. You're absolutely fine, you don't need to do it, you look perfect, you look beautiful, and people will try and build this person up. And other people, and I fall into the second category actually, I say if it's something that you need to do, you want to do, you feel you should do, then I would say go for it. And I say that from a personal perspective because I did go for it. For many years, I had excess skin beneath my eyes, and it was dark skin. I had big eye bags. It looks like I hadn't slept in a year, and this condition happened to me at quite a young age, and it really drained my confidence a lot during my 20s, not the 20s. So yeah, this is something that I lived with from the inside out. People that knew me, that were part of my life, they probably got used to it and they didn't notice it. So if I asked them, they would probably say, it's not something you need to do. It's hardly noticeable. But to somebody meeting you for the first time, yeah, it would be noticeable. But the main point is how you personally feel about it. Because you're living with it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if it's draining your confidence, and if there's an option to do something about it, and if that option precludes, other methods such as exercise, healthy eating, if none of the natural methods can help with this condition, then surgery is an option. So I'll share with you what happened to me, because for the longest time during my 20s, I flew solo. I didn't really have many relationships, and if I did, they didn't last very long. I was low on confidence. I was up and down all the time, and there was a lot of contributing factors to my low self-esteem and low confidence, and my physical appearance was one of them. And it's something that, every time I looked in the mirror, I saw it. I was always consciously aware of how my eyes looked. And so one year, I'd saved up enough money. I lived alone. I worked in a shop. It was a one-man shop, so I worked alone. I lived in a shared house, but I didn't really know the other people in the house, so I was pretty much alone in the world. So I decided to book myself into a clinic. It was in Prague. I think it cost me a few £1,000. That might be about $2,500. And I did it over Christmas. So I booked myself in, and the surgery was due for around about the 21st, 22nd of December one year. And so I travelled over to Prague, freezing cold, and they provided the accommodation. And so I travelled the night before, and I went into my accommodation, and I was quite anxious actually. So I went out on the town centre of Prague, and I had some drinks in some bars, and it wasn't actually until the next morning that I found out that you're not supposed to drink before a surgery. But anyway, it was too late for that. They were still prepared to go ahead with the surgery. Luckily for me, so in I went, and they give you a local anaesthetic for what you call a blepharoplasty. So basically, you're awake, so that when they need me to, I can move my eyes, I can look up or to the sideways or whatever while they're working and cutting away the skin beneath my eyes. It's not a pleasant experience, but the hope that you go into one of these surgeries with is massive. You don't know how you're going to feel afterwards, but you're full of hope that it's going to change your life, it's going to change everything. It doesn't, of course. But I went through the surgery. I came out of the clinic a few hours later, and I was straight out into the street. I didn't get any opportunity to recover in the clinic or lie in a bed at all. It was a business for them. They were turning over people. So I got my surgery done, then I was to go back to the hotel and stay for a night, and then it would be back home. So I was out into the street, minus about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. I had to catch a taxi that was very smoky. The taxi driver was smoking in his cab, and there was me heavily bandaged, freezing cold, but more happy than I'd ever been, that I can ever remember actually being. I looked like I'd just had a boxing fight with the heavyweight world champion, and I'd gone 13 whole rounds with them. I must have looked like a train wreck, but I was happy. I still had meds in my system, so I didn't feel any pain, but eventually this driver managed to get me back to my hotel, and I got inside, and I just relaxed and recovered for the next 24 hours, and I was so happy. And then I flew home and had a few weeks to recover and rest before I went back to work. And of course I had a look at my eyes after I took the plasters off, and still heavily bruised and bandaged, but all I could think about was, what am I going to look like after it all heals? I don't care what it looks like right now at this moment in time. I'm thinking about what it looks like when it's all recovered and repaired and healed itself a month or two down the line. And I no longer have these heavy eye bags that used to make me look like an 80-year-old man, and I probably lived with those eye bags for the last 10 years or so. And so they'd been a constant presence in my life, and suddenly they were gone. And of course, gradually it all healed. And so you're probably asking, you want to know, did it change everything? Did I feel completely different? Did my confidence go from here to here? Well, the answer is, and I think I've probably already answered it, my appearance was only one aspect of contributing to my low confidence and low self-esteem. So it was like a piece of the jigsaw. So having the surgery was like putting one piece of the jigsaw into place to build a whole picture of confidence. So it was one aspect that built me up. So it didn't take me from here to here. After the initial euphoria had gone, it took me from here to maybe here. But it was a big step forward. It wasn't a giant leap forward, but it was one little step forward. And I never for a moment regretted doing that. I spent my Christmas that year in a strange place, surrounded by strangers, nobody I knew. Nobody knew that I was even there. I didn't have a friend network, a support network, so I was there by myself. Nobody knew it. And it was the best Christmas ever. It's true, and so yeah, um, I didn't regret it. And if other people are looking to have some sort of surgery for something that they've lived with for a long time, and it's like a drip drip, draining their confidence, then I would recommend anyone to go for it if it's safe to do so, and if you fully research the the place that will do the surgery, um, and make sure that they've got, you check out their reviews, and research them as much as you possibly can, and make sure they're safe and that they're good, then I would say go for it. But on the proviso that I'm saying this without any medical input, and this is not a medical opinion in any way whatsoever. This is my personal experience that I'm conveying to you, and how I felt personally after my own experience of surgery, for what that's worth. So that's my point of view. If you're one of those people that are living with something and you're asking, should I go for it? Then this is my unbiased opinion from somebody that is not close to you, that's not going to try and feed you with a biased opinion, and make you feel good, for which is all extremely well intentioned, but it might not be the correct thing to hear. What you need to hear is the right thing, but what it might be right for me might not have been right for you, might not be right for you. Not having the surgery might be the right thing for you. It's still your personal decision, but I hope now what I've said gives you a little bit more information to make that final decision. So with that in mind, I think now is a good time to end this live stream for today, and whatever you do decide to do, if that's you, then good luck, safe journey, and I hope it does at least for you what it did for me.